festive moose and your reindeer and your fireplace and your old walnuts and you got your festive idiot.
Hey!
I'm saying it's good. It's a good thing. Our culture rewards it.
Damn, I just remembered. This is a annoying one if I want to use a bloody...
I have a Christmas drink.
Oh,
what are you drinking?
what's that?
Coffee.
No, so I have to get my... I always remember this takes about 10 minutes to open with corkscrews.
Oh, I am super festive. I even have my 2 advent calendar chockies that I hadn't had yet.
They came out of an advent calendar.
Yeah. I skipped yesterday's and it's yesterday's and today's.
No, actually,
Whoa.
I managed to open it with my hand this time. I had it the previous time I had one of these. I must have developed more upper body strength.
Is that what you asked for Christmas?
I'm
I
hoping
haven't
it's what...
sent you that.
Oh, I was hoping that would be...
That's not in the envelope.
Is that an S? Actually, I shall ask you this when we come to open the presents. I'm not
Yes, for Stuart, because those were wrapped for the York trip
Oh.
in similar paper.
Oh, no. Oh. Okay. Are we starting normally?
Let's start normally.
Okay. How does my video actually look? You can see it larger than me. Is it all... Do we need to turn the light off, turn it on?
You can probably draw the curtains.
Right it.
Yeah. Camera should go outside. There we are, Christmas curtains.
I wonder if Isa would approve.
Right. Extra cozy.
Excellent. We must all be cozy here. Listen, you lot, it's Christmas time, and we're having a Christmas episode of Podcast Maximus. So watch out. I'm Tom McNally, and with me is Marian Hilditch.
Hi.
And with me here, special for Christmas, is Stuart Webb.
Hello. I think there's definitely more of gravy than grave about you, Tom.
Absolutely, you're correct. It's a Christmas correct answer.
Christmas Carol reference. God, you're so sophisticated, Tom. It's Tiny Tom. Will Tiny Tom live? Is my question.
Not on a long enough timeline.
To make this even more festive, I'm the first Christmas Carol that came up on YouTube. No, this is a YouTube ad.
Christmas Miracle. YouTube
And
ad.
now... Okay, you can talk over it.
Oh,
right, okay.
I've been hearing a lot of biblical Christian music this week.
Oh God, in Tesco, yes.
Oh my God.
In church.
In church. Well, I suppose that's...
It was good though. I got to sing Purple-Headed Mountain quite loudly in a church. There was nothing the vicar could do about it. I'm sure that bit about him is some sort of... God's bragging a bit there. He's very proud of his Purple-Headed Mountain in all creatures great and small.
We'll take your word for it.
Shocked. I'm shocked at this film. So it's Christmas time. They took away our comics, and instead we just have each other.
Oh, could we get some comics? He said.
So we've all given each other gifts.
Yay! Mine are under the tree, guys.
Oh shit!
I'll go grab them. Right,
Tom, I think you need to open one of yours first. We'll let you go first. So pick up. We got one for each other each. So you can pick either mine or Marian's, and open it.
Okay, hang on. I pick up the sack. Sack, it's full of Christmas cheer.
I'm so excited.
So this lister is the one from me. You'll be able to tell as soon as he opens it. You'll go, that's a specifically Stuart. Tom is delicately opening it with the scissors. He's being very gentle. He's going to reuse this wrapping paper. If you're Tom's mom or maid and aunt, you'll be getting reused Amazon wrapping, which he will pretend is a delicate personal present for you. But
I can see what it is. This is the most Stuart of things that's possible. It's like Stuart had himself sort of put inside a pocket dimension, and this is kind of the gem that brings him back into the world. It's the complete Blake 7 series 1 to 4.
It is. You once said to me you'd have to watch it one day, Tom, to understand me, and now you will understand me.
I'm finally going to understand Stuart. Wow. Hang on.
The 40th anniversary box set as well.
Goodness me, nothing could be 40 years old.
That was cheaper than the individual season box sets were when they first came out. It was very annoying.
And you have those?
Oh, of course I did.
It smells so factory-like. Whoa, shiny new discs. There are about, I think, without exaggeration, about 100 discs here.
Well, there's only 52 episodes. If there were 100 discs, I would say the most number of discs is about 12.
Okay, so I think you have told me this before, but just remind me, what is Blake 7?
Oh, you'll have to. It's a
spaceship
dystopian BBC science fiction series from the 70s that I think you'll especially like the first episode because it's about a surveillance state. It's about stitching up opponents to the fascistic government for crimes they didn't commit.
Oh, that's
serious.
Christmas.
You're very dark and serious crimes as well. It pulls no punches there. And then as it evolves, it becomes a incredibly homoerotic camp space opera. And I think I was listening to a podcast the other day that said it's basically every episode is either brilliant or amazingly terrible. I mean, that's a fair assessment. But I think you'll definitely enjoy the first one. Very much, I think. And probably quite a few of the others.
Okay, so you never know what you're going to get. You just pull that lever, and it comes round, and are we going to get the homoerotic camp? Are we going to get the teeth-grinding dystopia? Are we going to get the real quality stuff that makes you want to be alive? Cool. Thank you, Stuart. That's amazingly sweet of you.
Are you feeling more Christmassy?
Yeah, I was here, and now I'm about here.
Okay, that's progress.
Yeah.
Marian. Sorry, Tom.
No, I was just.
Do you want to go next, Marian? Or?
Yeah, I can do. I'm gonna open this one. This is from Stuart.
My presents will go first. That's what we need. So we better get him out of the way.
And there's Stuart's card as well, in which he apologizes for it not being Halloween.
That reminds me, is this something I want to slink away for a second?
Oh no, Stuart's escaped just to say, oh no, did we get the same card? Yay!
Yeah. No. Mine's a phone box. Yours is a post box.
Yeah, have we both got doggos on them?
It is the same dog. I guess this is just one life in the day of this dog.
So I just remembered there was a prop I wanted to grab for this specific moment that I hadn't actually got hold of before we started.
They've left a load of presents underneath this lamppost. Left the dog and the presents.
Okay. I got an Eco Dot.
I would open up the box before you decide what it is.
Oh, it's not an Eco Dot. This was very confusing.
That is just the packaging the eBay seller use.
Okay. This is what I in fact knew it was. Because Stuart gave it away at some point.
You gotta ruin the magic. I never gave specifically what it was away.
You most definitely did. So, first of all, let me show you what it is. It is a G1 Spinister.
Oh! Wow, I've never seen a Spinister.
Look, he's got his. Well, the camera's there. He's got his stickers on and everything.
Ah,
And he looks complete, I'm assuming. Does it say hair splitter for Spinister?
I know he's got 2 target master guns.
That's a name, is it?
Hair Splitter's a very Budiansky name.
And Singe.
Oh, that's no other names would clear name.
Okay. So there they are.
Hair Splitter and Singe.
Yeah.
He's so 1989 in his colours, isn't he? He's like kind of hot pink cyan.
They are amazing. And because I knew this is what this was going to be, I've got to hand a misfire.
Oh.
A croc.
Merry Christmas, Croc.
And behind me is an unopened flywheel.
Holy hell! That flywheel is very good.
I feel I should point out to the viewers and the listeners that I only slightly implied what it might be, because after I bought it, Marian went on Twitter and said, "Where do you buy G1 Transformers from? I want to buy some." I was like, "Don't go buying any G1 Transformers." But then actually only wanted them for a brother. So it was a... I mean, somebody else was, after that, going to Marian, "You should buy a Spinister." And I had to kill them, which...
it wasn't actually. Yes. So I was asking Rana for G1 toys, and when I was looking at one of the websites, somebody suggested there was a Spinster there. So it's like, oh look, they've got a Spinster. And right as you know it, Stuart messages me, DMs me like within seconds, and goes, "I don't want to give anything away, but don't buy anything."
Well, it would have been awkward if you had. That would...
It wasn't anywhere near as bad as because my brother wanted the oh god, what are they called? You know, Monstructor. His bots.
Oh god, yeah.
Those
Tender
little
monsters.
Yes, but he wanted them one at a time. He wanted to collect them, and then I discovered that that Toy Fair actually had the Monstructor like for a good price as well, and it was right after I actually bought him the one. So that was a bit of a, do I get a Monstructor now? No, he'll figure it out.
He will if he listens to this podcast before Christmas Day, anyway.
Well, he's had it. It was his birthday. It wasn't for Christmas.
Well, but the other part of my story is that was actually a lot job with another Spinister that came for me. I decided to get one myself. This one, he only has a 1 rotor blade, the no stickers, and he doesn't have the target master guns. So when they both came, I did have that Sophie's choice of which one to send to Marian. Well, as it is a Christmas present, I will send them one in a better condition.
It's a gradient of Spinisters. Me with no Spinister.
Oh.
Stuart with a poorly decorated Spinister.
In fact, this is my second Spinister because my first Spinister is over here.
But Creon is a cat.
Oh, Creon Spinister. Wow. They stopped Creon a long time ago, didn't they?
Have they?
I don't know. It's a question.
I don't know. I thought it was still going, but I might be wrong.
It was just a blip. Marian, because I didn't make it to York, you also don't have your Grimlock.
I don't.
But it still exists. And it just dawned on me, I guess I should have sent it ahead of this.
We will. It would have been too much. It would have been too many things. Yeah, you can wait for the next get together. Oh, I'm gonna just play with everyone now.
Marian has new friends. She doesn't need us anymore.
Okay, so that was me. Stuart, you do one.
Well, yeah. Marian has implied we can't even look in the outer wrapping of ours until we open it. So we should definitely leave those ones till last in case it is some sort of bomb or anthrax. So I'm going to go with Tom's, which is a little golden thing with a number 5 on it, like the famous computer from that film.
Johnny 5?
Yeah, Johnny 5. He is alive.
Right, yes. Well,
all the 80s references.
This present isn't alive.
Oh,
cruel.
It's certainly well wrapped in bubble wrap. Is it the exploding bubble wrap from that episode of Doctor Who the other day? Ooh. It's very well wrapped. It's some sort of purple thing, I think. But I can't quite see what it is through the copious amount of bubble wrap. Ooh.
Good amount of bubble wrap.
Is it just some bubble wrap, Tom?
Well, I know how much you like that show, Doctor Who, and it's Amazon satires.
It's just 3D printed robot heads. It's 3D printed rungs.
3D printed rungs, specially made to fit on Nova Star's body.
Excellent. That's 2 rung heads. So I have a.
Are they different?
No, they're there because they need to be painted, and in case you mess up one of them, you've got a spare.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I've got a fire star here, which is basically the same body, so I can just pop that off now.
But yeah, now hey presto, you got a rung.
Maybe not. I'll do that in the privacy.
I mean, if you just pop a head off, then you've got an issue 7 rung.
Oh, that's an excellent call, that. That's fantastic. I can now juggle rung heads. In fact, if people who know Cyber Doctor on Twitter, they will be incredibly jealous because they only have 1 3D printed rung head, I believe, and I have 2. So who's a bigger rung fan now? Jog on, Jacob.
This one's for you, Jacob. Right in your eye.
Both eyes. There's 1 head to go in each orifice.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. He's going to have a terrible new year.
They will, yes. So, Tom, it's your turn again, and you only have 1 present left.
I got this present here. The man came, gave it to me this morning.
It was a close call. I had difficulty getting to a post office.
Nice jiffy bagger. It's got,
no anthrax.
Got a pleasant smell. Oh shit! What's going on?
Yeah.
Food.
There are a couple of loose things.
Plop.
Enjoy Sweden's most infamous chocolate name.
By buying UTZ certified cocoa, Cloetta supports sustainable cocoa farming.
Oh, sustainable cocoa farming is the worst sort. You can't over-farm a
cocoa.
Oh,
hell! What's this here? It is a Lost Light patch in the style of NASA mission patches. I can put that on my denim jacket and be the right old peacock around town. This is cool, and it's made the way they've embroidered the Lost Light makes it look like a sort of Star Control ship, kind of top down.
Mm.
And I just sort of realised, it looks a bit like Rodimus's head. Can I imagine his face on there? Maybe not.
Do you like to imagine Rodimus's face often, Tom?
Only when I'm going to sleep at night. It's got a sort of hand motif as well, hasn't it? The old Lost. That's cool. I'm very pleased with that. I've got to just get a load of blue tack and stick it on my things. Okay, so I've got my plot. I've got my Lost Light NASA patch. And now here is the main event. It's got penguins, many stylized penguins wearing human clothes. That's not God's way. And
remember, we've already established God loves the purple-headed mountain toms. I wouldn't trust anything.
Well, that's an ethos. Okay, it's definitely some sort of book. I can read this with my eyes. There's a terrified man here. I don't know what that could mean.
That's a photo of you, isn't it, Tom?
Oh shit, is this a book about my own death? Stephen King likes it. The man's looking even more terrified. Oh shit, he's old as well. Okay, right, here we go. An AMC original series from Sir Ridley Scott. What could that mean? Based on true events. I still don't know what it is. I'm still...
I do. I could prove a surprise. I can tell already from the...
The Terror by Dan Simmons. The Terror. That's what he's feeling.
Yeah, you got it in one, in fact.
Oh, really? Okay. His ships, Terror and Erebus, have been trapped in Arctic ice. We have been discussing the Arctic of late.
Yes. I may have mentioned this.
Oh, yeah, okay, I've heard of this show. I didn't know Sir Ridley Scott. That's not a real sticker, that's just printed on.
So you will never forget Sir Ridley Scott's involvement.
There's something out there in the frigid darkness. It stalks the ships and snatches men. It's a nameless thing. At once nowhere and everywhere. It has become the expedition's nemesis. The Terror. Thank you very much. It's a Merry Christmas with the Terror.
It's so this is falls under historical fiction because it is based on true events, as it says. It's based on the Franklin expedition, the search for the Northwest Passage.
Oh yeah.
And the two ships that famously went missing and have been rediscovered recently.
But now this presupposes that there was some monster.
Well, yeah, but he's done a good job. He's based it a lot on the actual facts.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the book once at the start of the year, and then I watched the series, and now I'm rereading the book because it really stays with you.
Oh, cool.
I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much. It's a very Doctor Who kind of premise, isn't it? Like, let's go back to Shakespeare and see what Shakespeare's up to. But there's witches.
Oh. There's a 10th Doctor comic book strip where he goes on the Shackleton exhibition.
Oh, yeah.
And there's monsters in the ice.
Oh, no.
What are the odds?
I'm going to have a bit of chocolate.
Oh, tell us what it's like.
Oh, no, there's stuff in it. There's goo. There's coffee. A soft toffee filling, but it tastes like coffee.
I
need to think on this.
Okay.
Oh, there's a card. There's a card. Shit.
Oh, yeah, card.
I'm overwhelmed. Okay. This card features an Arctic animal, a polar bear.
To go with a book.
Yeah. This polar bear is not terrorizing this man. This polar bear is at peace with itself and the world. I think it's found Christ. It's presenting to us, the viewer, a gift. And it seems pretty pleased with itself, I gotta say. Merry Christmas and
Carry on.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope it's immaculate handwriting. It looks printed on it. I hope 2019 brings good grades and many new species of whatever you're looking for. Marian, thank you very much.
And what else are you looking for, Tom?
I aim to find the metabolic pathway of bacteria that seem to be sustaining populations of Deloid rotifers who live in moss.
Have you looked in Croydon?
Not yet, but we're
that'd be my guess.
We've got a big dollop of funding. We're gonna look everywhere now. Thank you so much.
That'd be Bahamas, is it?
So I'll put this on my nutcracker. That's not gonna work.
I was gonna say earlier, you're doing an excellent job for the audio listeners.
Oh shit! God damn.
I bet he ruins it right at the last second.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to balance this card on top of the eyebrows of a Lego Nutcracker.
Almost. Should I open a present meanwhile?
There we go. Yes.
I've enjoyed yes.
You've done it. Okay, first, before I open the present, this was Tom's card, and I want to show it off because it was so pretty. It's a deer at night. It's an actual photograph. It looks painted on. It was gorgeous.
That's one of the finalists in the Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition.
Looking forward to our coordinated present opening, Tom says. It's here.
That's happening now.
But I will very quickly say there's my card from Tom, if I've showed up. It's an orgasmic sea lion, I think. Oh, a crab beats a seal. Why does it beat the crab? Oh, crab eater. Sorry, not crab beater. Is that better or worse for beating the crab?
Well, you got to beat the crab before you can eat it.
I am opening this now.
He loves his Johnson thing, according to Tom's handy message on the back. He hopes it brings as much joy as my Johnson thing. Oh, no, Mr. Johnson thing. Sorry. It's almost like I deliberately misread that. But no, it's. I'm sure we all know the Mr. Johnson meme. We don't need to explain that. He is a legend in his own lifetime, and he has supplanted the Blitzwing Starswing gag as a Transformers-related joke of 2018. So go, Mr. Johnson. We should get him on the podcast one day. Have an interview with him.
Oh, he's still kicking.
Mr. Johnson can never die.
Can I open my present now?
Yeah, yes, you can, yes.
Good. It's the Rodimus stars.
Which are holdable.
Is it Safeways again?
Shapeways, yeah.
Shapeways, yeah.
Yeah, they're also from Trent Troop, and I hear that they're holdable. So, big old Milne Megatron can hold his up while he contemplates his life in prison.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yay! And you paint them, I guess?
Yes, bit of gold spray paint.
Oh, thank you, Tom.
It's a pleasure. Who's going to get them?
It's a good question. I think Trailcutter needs to have one, really.
Ah.
It's probably the last thing he needs now, wherever he is.
Well, and Megatron probably gets the other one.
Trailcutter and Megatron, yes.
And if I'm feeling brave, I might cut one so that it looks like Megatron's.
Oh. You can put it on Ratchet's grave.
Thank you.
Right, so into the final parcel of the evening. This is my present for Marian, which I already know from Tom's. This is going to be unless Tom's had all the presents here, then mine is just going to be an empty bag. We shall. So, I also have a plop. Those wacky Scandinavians with funny names, which are, unlike Tom, I'm going to be professional enough not to eat on the podcast.
You should so eat it.
It's maybe the worst food for microphones. It's kind of sticky and chewy.
It's very ASMR.
I also get me the Nostromo style Lost Life patch. That's great. It's like whether on my arm, the arm of my Star Trek Enterprise uniform.
I've got one too.
On a better ship. That is so cool.
I got a soul one. Yeah.
Excellent.
Hold on, let me go grab it.
Oh, I shall talk whilst. Oh, Marian's card as well.
Yeah, we can all be travel buddies.
Hey. Hey, mine is a present-giving penguin.
Yeah, it's to match your own penguins. I got a penguin card from Stuart for
so
my birthday.
You're from the Antarctic. I'm from the Arctic.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a controversial message in light of recent events. I don't even know if I should read it. Lest I bring the wrath of Twitter down upon me again, because it always seems to be down upon me. It says, I hope 2019 brings you a secret James Roberts script for MTMTE issue 1, which just says, see Red Dwarf. I think you'll know, Marian, but James has many influences. He enjoys many things. It's not just Red Dwarf. He loves many sorts of television. He doesn't just sit there going, what Red Dwarf thing can I copy this time? And he just doesn't understand why people keep making that insinuation. Even after the other day, when he quoted a massive amount of text from Red Dwarf and said, I think about this all the time, and when people in replies going, so was this bit in More Than Meets the Eye inspired by this bit of Red Dwarf? He was going, no, why would you think that? Just as I said, I think about this all the time. It's... but if there are any complaints about that one, that's from Marian. That's Marian's message. I just read it out. Thank you very much, Ray. And the main present, ooh. Will it be terror? Terror, though, that's the question. Oh, this looks wearable. I think it's a t-shirt of some sort.
Tom, you're looking suitably terrified.
Yeah, well, you know, this guy was...
Why don't you put it with the back to the camera so I can see it before... That's the case, it is inappropriate. Oh.
Nice.
Oh, that's fantastic. I will actually reveal it is an Ice Hotel t-shirt because for her birthday recently, Marian managed to do one of my life's ambitions and went to stay in an ice hotel, which I've wanted to do ever since the awful and near franchise-destroying James Bond film Die Another Day came out, where really the best bits are all set in the ice hotel. Mainly when he just goes up to a bar and says, can I have a vodka martini shaken, not stirred? Plenty of ice, if you could spare it. That's a level of wit in that film. But yeah, it looked so cool. I've always wanted to go to one of those. But it's a cool car chase in the ice hotel in that film as well. I hope to reenact one day when I go to the real one. It's like can't.
Is it actually called the Ice Palace in the film?
It is, yes. I don't think I can ever afford to say the Ice Palace.
You have to build one first, probably.
It is just melted by an ice laser from outer space near the end. So it's not completely realistic to a real one, I imagine. That is fantastic. I will wear that when I go to the actual ice hotel.
Confuse them. That poor bar, the poor person who works in the bar at the Ice Palace in the James Bond film must have heard that joke so many times.
He's a fictional character, though, so he would only have ever heard it once.
Well, I want to film about that guy and how all these jerks keep trying to make ice puns, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Well, trust me, that is better than all the other puns in that scene, which is just Halle Berry and Rosamund Pike making insinuations that James Bond has a massive penis while staring at his groin. It's not. I think Mr. Bond has been explained in his Big Bang Theory to you. I think I got the thrust of it. It's a terrible film in many ways, Die Another Day, but it's got a cool ice palace in it. That's the main thing. If you take anything away from this podcast, take away what my favourite part of Die Another Day is.
Oh, I feel suitably spoiled. I can't believe I've opened Christmas presents ahead of Christmas.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, it was either that or we do this on Christmas Day, and I don't work Christmas Day. That's my philosophy in life. It's
just ignore our families. Just have a podcast.
But cheers, everybody, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Raise toast.
So, should we talk about what we would like to see? Well, no, first of all, are you guys going to go see the Bumblebee movie?
Oh, yeah, it looks not shit, doesn't it?
I'm going tomorrow.
Are you? Yeah. Okay.
But people seem confused as to when it was actually out. It is out this weekend, and it'll be out next.
There were some advanced screenings. I think this is one of them, 14th and 15th or something like that. But I think the actual opening is 20-something.
I did see some people moaning that it wasn't out until after Christmas, and I saw other people saying that it was out this weekend. So if it is out next weekend, I will go see it next weekend early in the day. Hopefully, I've got a Christmas breakfast to go to of the morning, but hopefully after that. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't know sort of what I will actually think of it. I think the trailers look very low budget in places. I think they've saved some money on the computer game level looking Cybertron stuff. And but it looks like it'll be a gentle. I mean, it might be a bit too kidding. I've seen people go, "Yay! There's no swearing or innuendo or violence in it." I'm like, that's all my favourite family films when I was a kid. Had terrible sex puns, violence, and innuendo in them. Like Die Another Day. So I will miss that if there's. But what I am enjoying though is that really, before people moan about talking about the critical reception to the Bay films, no Transformers media ever really gets good contemporary critical reception. Is that maybe an award for animation or special effects or something like that? They're always seen as a bit shit and slagged off and dismissed, except for Lost Lights and TIs, which contemporary critical series. So just see the Bumblebee movie having got good reviews and a good Rotten Tomato score, that's quite nice. Whatever when you think of it, it's like, it's about time something in this franchise got some recognition beyond that one comic. It only took 30 years. But it's kind of amusing that as Lost Light has ended, suddenly the film's getting good critical notes. Because for 4 or 5 years, every single one of those positive critical reviews of Lost Light, whether it be from The Guardian or comic book sources or whatever, every single one of them start with, boy, aren't the Transformers movies shit. But this isn't. And so it's like the tables have flipped of the movies of Harry their revenge on people who write for The Guardian, basically, which is good. They deserve to be money.
And did you guys see that Lost Light is up for Comic Book of the Year on IGN? Not to, kill Stuart's, saying there, but
that's exactly the thing I was saying. It's what Lost Light was the only critically acclaimed thing up until now. That reinforces what I was saying. It doesn't dismiss it.
Well, I just want to. I'm going in without any expectations of this film, and if it turns out being good, that would be great. I'm not as invested. But I am thinking of it as a fresh start in terms of the film. So I hope it's going to be something that I enjoy. Or if I don't enjoy it, at least I hope it's going to be something that, is successful and other people enjoy, I suppose.
People have been telling me who've seen more trailers, I don't think it was anybody who's actually seen the film yet, so this may not be accurate, but for people, so I've been avoiding the trailers, but for people who have seen more recent trailers have told me that apparently it's got no connection to previous films at all. It's at best not acknowledging them, and at most it's a complete reboot, really. But so sort of the X-Men thing, where none of the X-Men films really fit together, but you can get away with it when most people only see one every couple of years. Which means it doesn't really fit in with that IDW prequel comic either. Which, hey!
But the X-Men films, though, they are meant to be in the same universe. They do, there is crossover. It's just that it's a bit like with the Star Trek films, I guess. It's just saying we're in the same universe. It's just that this is we've started a different timeline now.
It's like if you watch all the X-Men films in a row, they don't make any sense or fit together at all, even slightly. People are all different ages and have different backstories, and there's like just one of them that reboots everything.
I don't think films are really the right medium for continuity. It just kind of makes me want to see the Iron Giant does Bumblebee.
The Iron Giants could fuck right off because it's the Iron Man. The Americans coming in, forcing a name change on a film adaptation, casting them off, not having Tom Baker bring it in 5 10-minute episodes at the end of Children's BBC.
Do they have any relation? I know the main kid is called Hogarth in the Iron Man, but I don't really have any relation.
I've never seen the Iron Giants, to be fair.
So. Maybe not.
That's...
Well, it's like the Bumblebee movie.
I'm very committed.
But if Bumblebee was a Decepticon who lost his memory, and
really, but I would have thought Bumblebee film, I'm looking at it, is just for 2007 Transformers film, but with some Stranger Things style 80s references.
Shit, you haven't seen it yet, man.
But Norris told me he's assuming it's going to be like, if he can assume it's going to be like a film, I can as well.
Well, that's what Travis Knight said, and his dad made shoes, and that's I'll take his word for it.
Okay.
I really like which one did you do? He did Kubo and the Two Strings. Haven't seen Box Trolls.
I haven't. I've been meaning to watch that.
Very fond of his company.
I suppose I'm still holding out, but Anthony Hopkins will show up in Bumblebee as because he said in the last film that he knew Bumblebee when he was a younger man, that they used to hang out all the time. So Anthony Hopkins played himself younger without CGI or makeup, just fat old Anthony Hopkins not giving a fuck, projecting youth. That's what I want for about an hour of a film. Him to say dude. A good 45 minutes. Then I will appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, I'll put that on my bingo cards. Fat old Anthony Hopkins saying dude. 5 stars.
Wait, is this meant to be ironically or unironically?
It's both. I mean, Anthony Hopkins was the best thing by far in the last one. So he does deserve to be in a better Transformers film. But I just considering the budget has gone on that Wrestler Man, I might not be able to afford Anthony Hopkins for this one.
I saw him on Graham Norton talking about wrestling in promotion, not letting Hailey Steinfeld speak. He just talked about how good wrestling is.
Who is this man?
John Cena, is it? Cena? I don't follow wrestling. So it's outside of Hulk Hogan. I'm an episode of Star Trek Voyager with The Rock in it. I'm a bit lost at sea when it comes
He's got an extraordinary face, that man. Really looks like somebody's drawn a person in a kind of weird, exaggerated way, and then like some kind of AI has sort of transmuted that into flesh. So everything is just kind of the wrong proportion, but not in an unpleasant way.
Well, I think he's like playing a villain, isn't he? So that would be good for the film. I think parring it back to basics as well is a sensible thing. I think the last one had reached that point many film franchises do, where they just go beyond their reach in what they can achieve. You know, it is the Die Another Day again, or the Star Trek 5, or that film where it just goes just too far over what even the people who like those films are prepared to put up with. So it's parring it back to the sort of style the first one had, which is, I think everybody thinks the first one is the best one by a considerable margin. So trying to recapture some of that when there's a whole generation of kids who have been growing up born after that film came out as well. So this could be their first Transformers film experience and do for them what the 2007 film did for a whole bunch of kids as well. I think it's exactly the right direction to take.
Meanwhile, I've opened my flywheels. And
so good, it's flywheels.
I'm a little miffed.
Really?
Does yours have this? The
paint the stuff painted
all
on.
over.
Yeah.
Oh, all those toys do, don't they? Yeah, the battle damage look.
Just a bit of
That doesn't look battle damage. That just looks. Is that supposed to be battle? But like, it just looks like the silver from the treads is just spilled everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of alcohol, I think, gets that off.
Okay.
But to be fair, you're only going to use him when you get the member of the DJD, whose name I've forgotten. What is only... sorry?
Chestman.
Chessman, yes.
Thesaurus.
Thesaurus. When you get him, and you have flywheels popping up out of his chest. With his feet dangling.
I reckon he could fit in there head first.
Well, he comes apart quite neatly at the waist.
Does he?
Yeah. Just give him a good yank and...
So you could have, like, his feet sticking out of the Thesaurus's belly on display, right?
Yep.
That's the only reason anyone will want a Thesaurus. It's why I'm getting mine.
He's a good figure. I like him. He's hefty.
And his little alt modes are so cute. A little plane, little tank. Meh, meh, meh. It's weird that he's in a line like Siege, which doesn't seem to have any kind of sense of humor. But he's like obviously hilarious.
It's a good color scheme.
Yeah.
Has something stopped recording because something just started beeping in my end?
Something started beeping.
Not here.
Oh, okay, that's...
Okay, no, it's all the recording's in progress. We are still recording. Okay. So, we brought Christmas cheer back to Eternia. I've eaten a whole Ploppo.
Oh, sorry, yes, I was supposed to have some as well. You carry on talking, Tom, and I will stick the plop in my mouth and rinse it round with some cider. And,
see, this is why I got it, yeah.
So we can talk about the plop.
Yeah, there's a plop, ladies and gentlemen. That's what one looks like. For those of you listening to the audio, you'll have to imagine the plop in my hands there, but that's...
oh, yeah, just kind of oozing through his fingers.
Camera.
I'm kind of more concerned, not so much about the name plop, but cloetta sounds a lot like cloaca.
Which, of course.
Which is a sort of combined genital anus region of fish.
Birds. It's why fish and birds have all the most fun, because it's all in one.
Not ratites, though. Ratites have a penis.
It's good to know when you have sex with animals, which one?
It kind of... Oh, my God.
You're dead.
All right, so we brought Christmas cheer back to our hearts. And
you don't sound too sincere about that, Tom.
We've got some Tara and some Blake 7 and some Ploppo and some Lost Light patches and some cards with animals on them. And Marian has also opened an additional out of bounds present to herself in the form of flywheels. And we've talked some smack about Die Another Day. I think that's a good day's work.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the big question to follow up with is, as we end the year, what do you two want from the Transformers comic reboot that would make you come back and podcast about it in 2019?
Is it still on? It seems that maybe there's been some behind-the-scenes turmoil.
If you would come...
Chris Ryle is coming back.
Yeah, well... If you come to the York meet, there was somebody there who knows a few people who said that apparently it is on.
It is on.
So that's why you should have come to York, Tom.
I should have come to York.
I can't reveal my exclusive inside sources, but it's...
Oh, man.
Somebody who knows somebody said that as far as I know, it's on.
Oh, Tom was on his way to York. We had a York meet with people locally, and Tom was going to come all the way from down south, all the way to Brighton, and his trains did the bad thing, and he could no longer make it. And that was Pooh. He was Pooh.
It was Plops.
It was Plops. But it's okay. We have had our Christmas get-together now. We've exchanged presents, and we're gonna be planning our next Podcast Maximus get-together, right?
Yes. It's only a shame about York is that we had made the Welcome Tarn banner. We said we spent the entire Friday up till about 2 o'clock in the morning making it with painted acrylics and plastics, little flags with Tom's face on it. We were there for the train when it arrived, and another man called Tom got off, and he assumed it was him. We were too ashamed to tell him, so he hung around with us for the whole weekend, and he was very confused. He'd only come from the Christmas market, and he said he had to look at flywheels and metal legs and watch me eat a curry. It was.
I did hear about the curry. That's one experience I had.
Listeners,
projected.
Stuart had never had curry before.
I'm not the stereotypical Englishman. I know it's all stereotypical English foods and all the. But don't stereotype us. We're all very different.
I'm just glad to have introduced curry into your life, Stuart. But you never said, are you going to have it again? Did you like it?
Yeah, I'll have it again if I'm in a situation where I'm in a curry place and other people are eating.
You make that sound as if it's not something that happens a lot. Like, literally, the country is full of curry places and people eating them.
Okay, what if, Stuart? What if we all have to go to the climate change refugee camp? We can no longer stay in our homes because of fires.
So is this a refugee camp for climate change? Is climate change being forced out?
Well, climate change will be there shortly, but for now, we've got the illusion of safety. And we're up in Svalbard. It's blisteringly hot. It's 40 degrees at night time, and one of the guards says that you could be released and you can go back to your old home in Kidderminster and go back to your old life, but you've got to eat this trough of curry.
What sort of curry would it be, Tom?
Chicken.
I think you find it's all many different types of chicken curry. Now you were stereotyping and assuming that it's all the same. You Brexit voting you.
True.
I think I know what's going on here. And what's going on here is that Tom doesn't actually eat curry. So he's trying to make you feel bad about it, Stuart, but in fact he doesn't like it.
No, it's too spicy and it hurts my mouth.
Oh.
Right, next time, Tom, you can have your first curry and we'll all watch you. We'll applaud at the end.
Well, it'll be in the climate refugee camp, right? Because we'll be on opposite sides of the trough, and the guard is there. He's tapping his taser. He's saying, "Who can eat the most curry? We'll let you go home." I know a guy who works at Theresa May's Home Office internment camp management center, and we've got to eat it with our hands, and we've got to rub it in our eyes. But here's the thing: he's put one piece of glass in it, so one of us might get the glass.
Oh, I forgot what the question was now. Could you get back to start?
Would you eat it?
Would I eat curry?
Yeah. Would you eat the curry?
I would eat curry at some point in the future. Yes.
So you can go back to your home, but it'd be abandoned. It'd be empty. It would be dust everywhere. It'd be mold.
So unchanged then.
Tom, this is an extremely specific example here.
I just want you to consider that before anything happens.
It's lucky you didn't turn up to the York meeting. It would have got so existential and deep, we'd still be there. I think Marian would have put up with me for more than 2 nights. But that's not the question I asked about an hour ago. What I asked was...
Oh, the 2019 reboot, which mate says is happening. Okay, I've got something, but it's kind of weird, and I just did a weird thing, so I'll let someone else go.
Oh wait! What are you asking, Stuart? Are you asking what we'd like it to be?
What would you like to see, or what you think it'll be? But what would make you come back and podcast about the reboots?
I would podcast about it regardless because it would be a new thing. What I expect to see and what I'd like to see are probably not going to be the same thing. I'd like to see a lot of I'd like to see more space opera because I quite enjoyed that. So far away from Earth settings. I would like or at least I really like what IDW did in terms of the different stories happening, which attracted different audiences. So then there is no I don't like this. Why is this happening? I'm not buying the book anymore. Blah blah. I just want everybody to have something that they like reading, without that something feeling the need to please everybody. So I hope that they keep the format of different stories by different writers and artists and different styles and so on. Other than that, I just want them to not go back on a lot of the things that they did well. So I think I would feel tired at this point if we went back to a story which started in the middle of the war on Earth, and it's all again about, Cold Warfare and blah blah. Equally, I would find it tiring if we were in the middle of the war and it was open warfare. I don't know. I'm kind of sick of the war now. I think there's a lot more other things that are interesting. Even if it's at the beginning of the war, I would enjoy it. If it's like eras we haven't seen before, or which we saw but we didn't get enough of, maybe. That's what I want to see. More Cybertron back in the day. I hope that they keep that vision of old Cybertron as like a society that was functioning but was broken. And the things that led to the war being more substantial than just a warlord wanting power, I guess.
So that's Tom, do your weird thing.
Oh, well, I kind of want the opposite. I kind of want something very much set on Earth in the modern day, and I don't want them to get off there. I don't want them to have spaceships or light speed. I'd actually quite like most of the cast to be born or have like be tethered. I really like that old. No, I guess nobody likes it but me. But I really like that old Budyansky thing of like, this is it kind of did it a little bit in animated, but like there is a culture here, and we don't have that where we're from, and kind of make it a sort of immigrant parallel. Kind of make it more. I'd like them to be more refugees than soldiers. I think most of your characters.
So a bit like what's it called? The sci-fi film with aliens on Earth.
District 9?
Yeah.
Alien Nation. Oh, yeah.
Alien Nation as well.
Yeah, District 9 kind of played all that for laughs more than anything, I think.
You reckon?
Yeah, it was like a certain I guess you could have it light or satirical. But yeah, I kind of think that if you give them too much stuff, if you give them light speed and matrices and all this kind of technological things, that kind of leads the plot down that sort of sci-fi fantasy kind of avenue. I think there's more. I think I agree with you. Yeah, I'm bored of all that, of like the war and that kind of seriousness and the kind of implications of what that would bring. And yeah, I also kind of want mostly new characters as well. I guess there's Hasbro sticking their oar in, and they want this and that. But yeah, small, familial, young people characters who are sort of contrasted against the sort of old war horses, the people who've come from other places. I think that would be most interesting. And then it's a good way to kind of keep what worked so well in Lost Light, keeping the robot characters very humanized and having analogies to you don't have to make them analogies to human culture anymore. You can just actually make it that, just sort of square that circle. It's not like this one guy has got holotapes from Earth and now we can talk about community. You can just put them here and they can just watch TV or go on the internet or whatever you want them to do. Anyway,
though, if maybe they could just like slightly more, if they've got access to all of human knowledge and history, maybe just not sort of stuff a 40-year-old man from Guernsey would like. A more varied palette. But well, for me, you know what, I am fine with a deck clearing touching base with the basics of a franchise thing. I think that's sort of thing that everything needs to do every now and again. It's what Doctor Who has done very well this year. If you're me anyway, it's what Star Trek did with the Abrams films. It's what Bond did with Casino Royale. There's all these big, long-running franchises every so often have to do okay, it's got very complicated. And I think, the comic continuity, as good as so much of it was, had got very involved. And they were like, I think I sent you some reviews. There were some C-issue pages. Like when Scorponok showed up, they said, like, C-issue. And that issue was 10 years ago, or something like that. So there was definitely a need for a fresher start, which I guess they tried to do that with Lost Lives and Optimus Prime, but messed it up by not giving writers enough notice they were going to do a fresh start, so they couldn't really do the sort of deck clearing thing. And it ended up issue 1 of Lost Lives and issue 1 of Optimus Prime were just as involved as issue 58 of those books, original books, would have been. So they kind of did drop the ball there, which is maybe why they want full-on reboots this time, to just sort of do it very hard and very clean. So if it was, Autobots versus Decepticons at war around Earth, I wouldn't be too bothered as long as it was done well and interesting and took advantage of the fact it's been 13 years, or 14 by the time it starts, or 15, 16, the way things are going. Since Infiltration did its very ultimate style take on it, and I want new, young creators. I think James and John gave us sort of a last statement of the generation that grew up on the Marvel Comics and the G1 cartoon. That was sort of as far as you can go with those people who were the original fans. And I'm sure what they'll try and do, or whether they'll manage it, I guess we'll see. They will try and launch with as big a name a writer as they can get. So maybe that will be sort of an 80s person who grew up in the 80s, an older fan. If they can get Kieran Gillen, they will definitely try for that. But somebody of that ilk who they can hang it on to get casuals in. But I think there will be more than one writer basically in this form. The other writers should be young, untested, maybe. More female writers, more non-British and non-American writers. Sort of opening it up a bit and bringing these new perspectives. So it's not just, here's number 113 for the 855th time or whatever. Bring their in-jokes, their obsessions with what they grew up with from animated or the movies even. Because of course, people who were kids when the first film came out, maybe in their 20s now, that sort of target age of cheap writing talent that IDW loves so much. It's a shame IDW never nurtured new writers in the same way that they did new artists, but I'm sure, like they got lucky with James, there are fan fiction writers out there they could develop and give a chance on one-shots around whoever they have as their initial main writer and see where it takes them. So I'm sort of more interested in what they do with the style, but necessarily the style. I also hope, because one of the main rumours, but I'm not sure if this has been debunked now, because if it was going to happen, it would have happened closer to the launch of the toy line. One of the main rumours was that it was going to be based around the toys, the Siege toys. But whether something like that does happen, where it is more toy promotional, I hope whoever they have writing it is a bit more enthusiastic to promote toys than perhaps James and John were. Because I think that was mainly perhaps a big weakness of lots of more recent stuff. That's just coming off the back, reading the last two Machete Trains, the first one of which has you're all combiners now, including you, Mirage. The second one which has, let's forget Mirage was ever a combiner and only give Rook a personality 3 seconds before he dies. Which, if they're told to do it Buddy Yancey style, where they just throw themselves into it with a bit more enthusiasm. But, new writers, fresh writers, new perspectives on the old ideas and using the familiar starting points, go off in its own direction as a previous IDW continuity did and see where it takes them.
Okay, so who?
Or if they do want a Marvel obsessive sort of subpar James Roberts, they can hire me. I have seen every episode of Red Dwarf. I'm available.
That's one hell of a pitch. Okay, so to split the difference between the three of us, it seems that we all want new blood, new situations, and I guess do we agree that like G1 as a concept is like kind of used up?
Do you mean in terms of the story? Because they will forever be my favorite designs. And I don't mean like, the original designs. I just mean as an aesthetic. The original aesthetic will always be favorable in my eyes than, say, Prime or animated or the movie designs. Or like for me, G1 is the aesthetic that I enjoy the most. In terms of the story, I like the origin story. Like, I'd like it to be there in the background, and I'd like the characters to still be recognizable. I don't need it to be exactly the same, but I kind of need Megatron to be Megatron and Optimus to be Optimus in a way, I guess. So I kind of want my basics there, but I want fresh takes on them and different viewpoint on them, I guess.
I guess I guess I was thinking more into. I wasn't actually thinking of the aesthetic. I was thinking of the of that. There was legends, that kind of thing of Optimus versus Megatron, them being on opposite sides.
Yeah, I do want that to be the starting point of the premise in a way, but not necessarily follow through to what we've seen before.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying. Sort of the basics, the classic basics, are always a good starting point. In the same way that in Star Trek, you want to start with a ship that's usually called the Enterprise, flying about, investigating weird shit, because that's the default stuff you build from to your Deep Space Nines or your expanded canon universe. So using the classic default that's very proven to work, and no one knows at the time we recorded this how well the movie film is going to do financially, but critically, it's, as we said, it's doing very well, and that is lots of very old school G1 references and homages.
Yeah.
So it's good to revisit every now and then for that touching base.
But then I'd say Travis Knight is kind of the epitome of the person, the kind of person we feel is maybe best kept away from this reboot.
I know nothing about him, so if he is like sort of the American James Roberts,
he's very rich. He owns an animation company. He's in his late 30s. He's incredibly meticulous about wanting to replicate an idea of his from childhood. There is call for that, for rich white men to do that to us. But maybe in the low stakes, relatively inexpensive comics world, you could try and not have that guy.
There is a lot of talent out there, I'll say this. And there are a lot of good fanfic writers. And there's certainly a lot of very good artists, and I hope they do make the most of that and don't go for the tried and tested and give somebody else a chance. But obviously I would like to see the tried and tested, but in a kind of, how we had the one-off mini-stories in IW continuity so far. So maybe another kind of Stormbringer type of thing, or another, the Dinobot stories, or, that kind of thing, like a standalone, but, or Megatron Origin for that matter. That kind of thing. I wouldn't mind seeing Old Blood on that, but just give new people an ongoing. Just let them have it.
Yeah, and in fact, one of the issues I did reread recently through the Ascetti books was Spotlight Jazz, which is, I think, really about the only time, allowing the fact that Nick Roach was an artist first, who badgered his way to writing, but James was his mate he dragged through with him. I think Spotlight Jazz was really the only time they tried fan writers properly. Let's give somebody a chance who's done all this very good, well-received, semi-ignored, semi-approved Mosaic stuff and give them a go. And it's not a perfect issue. There are areas that could be better, but it's a really good, solid first professional writing gig. And it was like, it's a shame those. I can't remember the name of the two authors now off the top of my head, but it's a shame they did not get the chance to develop that very promising first attempt, and that other people in a similar way weren't equally. So yes, there's a huge mine of people that could be. I know they may not necessarily all make the leap successfully to professional level, but assuming IDW are going to be doing a lot of Transformers comics still with reboots, there are avenues they can try out and experiment as long as they have one solid person overseeing everything to make sure things don't go to nut sort of advice or structure or whatever. There are opportunities for them to develop the next James Roberts and Nick Roach without forcing them to draw issues first or sneak in through a secret crack through the back of a credit in All Hail Megatron Coda.
I've tried it a few times, but I don't know if it's just the American comics market, but they just don't do anthologies. Anthologies are just perfect for that. So you don't have to care about continuity or your big myth arc or anything like that until it starts to become important for its own sake. Like you read old 2000 ADs and when they're just sort of finding their feet, just like anything stick, just try things until you sort of settle on, oh, these writers seem to be doing it, these artists seem to be defining it. You got to have that period of plasticity in the beginning instead of trying to go in and this is going to be the franchise now.
You mentioned artists there, Tom. I think one of the assumptions so far has been that, hey, Spinner!
He's a surgeon.
Who's... I'm very confused about where my lens is, and nothing I'll be holding up is probably visible on the camera. But hey, there's my Spinner! Which one's best?
Stickers,
because my lens is quite high up, I'd probably be looking down and quite sad throughout the entire recording. But I'm not sad, listener and watcher. Don't worry.
Oh, I have to say mine is better because it was a present from you, Stuart. So if I say yours is better, and now you're gonna think, oh no, she didn't like it.
Well, yours has both blades as well.
There's no winning here for me.
But artists, one of the assumptions has been, as far as I can tell, that because the comics need to get through so many artists, just for covers alone, but sort of to make their schedule, that we will still be seeing familiar faces on the art team popping in and out. So who would we like to see come back on art?
That's a good question, because right now, I want to say nobody. I want to see new artists. It's not that I don't like the old artists, of course, and it isn't that I want them to be out of a job. I hope they go forth and, flourish, do other things, have a change, find better paying gigs and companies that appreciate them more. But I think there's a lot of talent out there, and I'd like to see some of the new one.
Yeah, I agree.
Not there yet.
No, let's have new stuff. That Bumblebee graphic novel they did, which just seemed kind of like heated over cartoon plot.
The one that seemed more like a prequel to the Bumblebee film than the actual prequel to the Bumblebee film. That one, he means.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
The Win If You Dare.
Yeah.
At least that had new artists on, as far as I'm aware. I don't think they hadn't been kicking around the Transformers franchise. It's like a reboot, just an amazing opportunity to experiment. You don't have this weight of the fan base, kind of second guessing everything you do. you can try and find a new audience, you can try and find a new market if you do. I mean, really, they need to get like sold in supermarkets. They need to kind of need to sort of break out of, I don't know, it would be like, it was like a Comixology original or something, just like, or a webcomic or something that breaks out of the shrinking comic singles market that exists.
It's difficult. No, I think no matter what they do, are they ever gonna get beyond 20,000 in diamond sales? I doubt it. I think the market is oversaturated for a certain type of thing. So they need to do a different type of thing, which is what they were doing with some of the books, and getting a different type of reader. A reader who has probably been felt a lot more left out, but is now starting to feel a bit more empowered and having a voice on the wallet, you know. So yeah, if they're going for that big old Transformers market, I think I don't think they're gonna get that.
I think I guess it might be beyond my control in terms of whatever conditions Hasbro have laid down or behind the scenes issues. Is that the time to do something as an issue 1 would have been as the Bumblebee film came out. As the original issue 0 of Infiltration was a December issue, wasn't it? So if they did something sort of to coincide with publicity around the film, I think the only stuff out this month is issue 3 of Star Trek versus Transformers and a GoBots issue. So I think they miss an opportunity there to cash in a bit on the profile of the film, which I suppose Lost Lights is really the main beneficiary there, because that's the one that's got all the publicity this week from being nominated for that comic writing award. So if people are checking out a Transformers comic off the back of the Bumblebee film, it'll be old issues of More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light, which is has a certain irony to it.
Sale, aren't they?
I believe they are. Yes, but that was last week, wasn't it? Is that still on?
Well, anyhow, the Star Wars, Star Trek Transformers crossover. That was. Is it my understanding that was like made quite a long time ago, and that was just sort of timed to sort of fill this gap?
I would guess not, because they've had to replace the artist for issue 3. So
have they?
Jack Lawrence has took over.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that was a schedule thing. So that doesn't sound like they had a long leading time, unless there were some other behind the scenes issues that led to that change. I don't know, but it's an odd thing to do. I mean, even with that Bumblebee prequel comic, which I have slightly ribbed over the course of this podcast, finished a couple of months ago, which seems a strange thing to do, to lead in to a film, to do it outside of a maximum publicity time for the actual movie. But
I've never seen anyone be more scared to release a film, I think, than they were to release this Bumblebee film. It was just, it's a miracle if it really is a good film, because they just seem to like not know what they want to do with it, whether they want it to be in continuity or not, whether like it seems like all the decisions around that film have been made around marketing, which isn't unusual for Hasbro, obviously, but none of them have been made around anyone wanting to make a good film. Or at least that's how it's come across. If it is a good film, then that's probably not true, but yeah, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that they haven't gone all out on the tie-ins and the publicity and so on, because they weren't quite sure what they wanted this film for. It was kind of like testing the waters kind of thing, and who knows. My thinking is that if this does well now, they are going to then take the next step, and they were waiting to see how this does to decide on what they're going to do with everything else, and relaunching the comics and so on.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, actually. Maybe they are still mulling it over and thinking things through. I mean, part of the issue that Bumblebee films face is that the previous film, it wasn't really a failure. It still it didn't do as well as the previous. It even needed to be such a success, they carried on with their original Anthem Bumblebee confidently, or a complete disaster. Something, okay, we're going to do it completely over and reboot it. But instead, it was sort of, yeah, it's in the middle. It did okay, and they don't know quite how to react to that.
Who knows what's going on over there at Paramount?
So we're going to have another episode in which we wrap up the IDW continuity. There's going to be some treats in that episode because there's going to be surprises for the actual podcasters in that episode. We haven't discussed when we're going to record this, guys. This seems like a New Year kind of deal.
Yes,
like
a
up
New Year
to the New
special.
Year. Yeah, so something between Christmas and New Year if we're around.
Something between Christmas and New Year if we're around. Sure, yeah.
If a man hasn't got us yet.
Yeah.
Tom would be well into his Blake Seven marathon by then. So.
I know. I'll be the Blake 7 expert on the team.
I don't know if this is a good time to say what you got me for my birthday. So you don't feel so singled out there, Tom. Are you ready?
It's not singled out.
My heart is dropping.
Believe me, it's even better than yours. This is what I got for my birthday.
Sapphire and Steel with Joanna Lumley and David Macron.
Oh, McCallum, Tom.
A special edition. Yeah, he's always talking about that. What is it?
It's sort of a weird horror show. It's got some fantastic, terrifying imagery in it, especially in the railway soaring and the photography one. And the photography one is a reason I got that as a present for Marian, because it's a story about haunted photographs. There's got lots of stuff about photography techniques in it, but you can sit there and go, that is inaccurate. If you were really taking a photograph that way, a ghost would knock about the photograph. That's unrealistic.
Okay. Because whenever you mention it, I always think it's a mining show, because those are things you mine. Yeah.
Oh no, they're elements. They are supernatural beings designed to protect people like you, Tom,
Neither
from horrors of cracks in history.
Apparently, this is set in a world in which the future and past collide and time overturns reality.
Like in a mine.
And it is created by acclaimed TV writer P.J. Hammond of Torchwood fame, not Flame.
Wait.
I look forward to this. I look forward to seeing the man from Uncle, not the man who was not from Uncle, in fact, solve supernatural mysteries.
He was a man from Uncle. He just wasn't the man from Uncle.
But he wasn't from Uncle, was he? He was the foreign agent, or was he Uncle as well?
Yeah, it was an international force, United Network for Law and Crime Enforcement, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know as well.
Well, we're all getting a proper education around these parts. That's the important thing.
Their motive that would absolutely still scare me terribly ever since I saw the videos that my mom got when I was a kid. It's about the horror in old objects as well, but anything old has a dangerous history to it that can be exploited.
Like these DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what the photography one is about. It's putting old images on new media and what that lets out. So yes, you could be watching Blake Seven on DVD and suddenly a 1970s gay icon could appear beside you, Tom, and chain you to a wall.
Is this good?
It depends on the episode.
Well, this is different Christmas than what I was expecting. But
No, you expected a 1980s gay icon. It's very...
Right, yeah, God. Oh, 70... Bit long in the tooth, really, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, I feel that Christmas is saved.
No,
Right.
news has just come in. It's dead.
Oh. Spinster has got a run of a star in his little stubby hand. Oh.
Oh.
So, shall we depart from this realm?
Well, are we going to do our usual promotion?
Right. Stuart, what is your usual promotion?
Sure, you've got 60 seconds, no more. Go.
I am still doing transformation every week. I'm running up to the end of the Armada comic. I shall finish the Armada comic for Christmas, and then in January I am doing the Bay comics. And,
oh God!
Anyone go watch Blake 7 and Sapphire and Seal.
Perfect.
That was brief. Tom, tell us what you're up to.
I'm doing a phylogenetics assignment right now. I'm not on social media and I'm not doing anything. Just wait. Everyone, just be patient.
And I am just waiting for Christmas pretty much myself. That's all I'm doing right now.
So it's Stuart's reviews of the Armada comics or nothing.
I'm also watching season 19 of Doctor Who on Blu-ray and live tweeting about each story as I watch it, with just original observations, as Adric is a bit shit. So if you want to hear more crazy hot takes like that, nobody sets Matthew Waterhouse on me. I'm having enough trouble fending off all the Transformers creators who hate me without Doctor Who actors joining in as well. But I'm doing that as well.
If you are a Transformers creator and you are listening to this, then be nice to Stuart, because you get to get that swear off your chest, but we've got to hear about it for months.
Yes, and we know he can be a right ass to all of you sometimes, but he's really a sensitive soul, so be careful how you respond.
Well, anyway, that's the last podcast, Maximus.
See,
we broke shit. That's it. He's just storming off. He wants nothing to do with any of us ever again.
So, see you next year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Will Tiny Tom live, though?
Oh.
Well, in 60 years' time, definitely not. Bye.
Bye.